With that, I would like to officially welcome you again to the Demystifying the Role and Area Director Roundtable. Before we jumped into the panel, I thought it would be good to just give an overview of the Area Director role, starting with where you fit into the grand scheme of things when it comes to Toastmasters. I love this slide because it really gives you a deep insight into the different leadership opportunities that Toastmasters International presents for all of its members. So you'll see the members are at the top, not at the bottom, which I love about this graphic because everything that we do is for the members. So once you become a leader, your thoughts are the members. What can we do to benefit the members? How can we make sure the members have what they need? How can we ensure that the members are moving forward with their goals as well as their objectives? After the members comes the club. So you all know that there are club officer opportunities at the club level. So we have those different officer roles that you're able to take on at the club level. Next, we have the area level, and that's what we'll be talking about a bit deeper. So you can become an area director and have governance over a couple of clubs in a general geographic area. That then moves forward up through the divisions, the districts, regions, board of directors, and then even all the way up to world headquarters. So there's endless leadership opportunities that are invested inside of your Toastmasters membership. Now, specifically talking about the area director role, there are a few things that are required of area directors. As you can see from the graphic, the area directors are really responsible for bringing the area council together, sharing best practices, and really helping make sure that clubs are having successful meetings. So you'll see a line that's leading to all of the members of the area council meeting on this particular slide that shows you who the area directors typically interact with at the club level. We'll also talk through just a general overview of the role. So the area director is a direct liaison between what we call the district and the club. So the area director is a part of the district. I know a lot of times we'll hear, hey, let's just ask the district for X, Y, and Z. Well, it's the area directors are a part of that leadership team and they are members of the district. But they really are the voice of the club. So they go out and visit clubs and bring that information back to the senior leadership. So again, that we can help make District 44 better. They're responsible for club visits, so they'll come out to the clubs to see how things are going. They'll provide their feedback and give the club suggestions on things that they may be able to do better throughout the year. They'll also attend district executive committee meetings. So there's important things that we vote on as a district, and they're a part of that voting body called the district executive committee. They'll organize speech contests. So if anyone has been to a speech contest, you know there's some work that goes behind putting those together. And the area directors do a phenomenal job of helping bring the clubs in their area together in order to conduct speech contests. The area directors are also part of the district council, again, another governing body that has voting rights, and they're able to assist their areas in becoming distinguished. So they're really, again, a liaison between the district and the clubs, helping those clubs push themselves forward into greatness. Below that is listed some of the skills that you will learn by taking on the area director role. I'm not going to go through each bullet point, but I think it's important to highlight a couple of them. So organization and problem solving are extremely important for the area director role. So making sure you have your dates on the calendar for your visits, you're submitting your club visit reports, as well as motivating people. Sometimes there's some encouragement that you have to give as an area director. So that's a really important skill for area directors to have. I cannot tell you enough how important area club visits are. That's really how senior leadership is able to get insight into the clubs. Since the senior leadership doesn't have the ability to visit every single club, this is how we learn about what's going on in all of our 140 plus clubs that we have inside of the district. So the area director is tasked with doing what we call an area club visit. They'll come out to the club as an observer and they'll provide their feedback on this area club visit form, and that goes to the club. So the club's leadership also gets a copy of the report and also goes up to world headquarters as well as the senior 7 leadership. Last but not least, I just wanted to talk about the benefits of serving as a district leader in general. One, you're going to be making a difference. So remember, we looked at that chart with the members first. You are like the first line to the members. So you play such a critical role as an area director. There's always personal growth. I feel like in every leadership position that you take on, you learn a lot about leadership, but you also learn a lot about you, which helps you become a better and more effective leader. You'll learn those leadership skills, as I mentioned. You'll also get a chance to network. I remember being an area director and getting to meet so many more people than I knew inside of the district, which was great for me. So you have that networking opportunity. And then last but not least, we have that little tidbit of information of where that's going to help you get your DTM, which is your Distinguished Toastmaster Award, which is the highest award that you can achieve inside of the Toastmasters program. So becoming an area director is a really beautiful thing. You get to learn all of these amazing skills, get to meet some great people, and not only that, you get to serve your district well. With that, we are going to jump right over into our panel discussion. So I am going to introduce our panelists one by one as I ask them some important questions I have found on my end as serving as an area director, and they'll be able to provide some of their feedback on that. So here is a listing of the amazing people that we're going to talk to today. And I'm going to start with Siobhan Reed. She is our current Area F61 director. Siobhan, if you could come off of mute. And what I want you to tell the group first is, what does being an area director mean to you?
Wow, what a great question. Thanks for asking that, Tanisha. Being an area director for me has meant really showing up for my community. I started in Oracle, Atlanta, and I became VP of PR, then president. And as I continued to grow and mature as a Toastmaster, I ended up deciding that I would pursue my DTM designation. And of course, one of the requirements is to serve in an area or a leadership position within the district. And I thought, hey, why not give it a try? So I put my name in the hat, and just so happened there was a position available. I was asked to serve, and it has been a year of just learning and growing and stimulation. I'll tell you, I was the first one to host the contest. And so it was a little bit unnerving, but I got through it. And I'll tell you, never underestimate the power of a plan and planning ahead. So I really have enjoyed being AD for F61, and I would encourage anyone who would like to just sharpen your, skill set and actually foster new relationships. It's a great role. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Tanisha.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Siobhan. Next, I'm going to go over to Elaine McKenzie, who is, and I'll put the DTM on the end of hers, Elaine McKenzie DTM, because we cannot forget about those amazing 3 letters at the end. She is the current F64 area director. So I actually asked Elaine that same question. What does being an area director mean to you? And she said, an area director is an opportunity to apply what I have learned within my club, get beyond my club, grow, stretch, and become a better leader, which I love. That's amazing, Elaine. Elaine, what I want to ask you is, what is the time commitment of an area director? I feel like that's the question I get all the time when we talk about the area director role. Can you tell the group just a little bit about what the time commitment looks like to be an area director?
Certainly. There's a bottom line with a caveat. Generally speaking, you're going to spend 5 to 6 hours a month in the role. Now, 2 hours of that's going to be your general area director work. And then there's a whopping 4 hours that is dedicated to the district executive committee. That's only once a month. You will likely spend about an hour, sometimes half an hour, with your division director. So it's not a huge time commitment until it comes to contest season. And contest season, all bets are off. But the good thing about that is that we all pull together. Our area was down 2 area directors, and we picked it up and made it happen. And it was, to Siobhan's point, the first time you ever go through it, know that you have support behind you. Work with those other area directors and your division director. But generally speaking, think of it as 5 to 6 hours a month.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elaine, for sharing your insights there. Next, we're going to go over to our Area D41 Director, who is Seamus Hill. Good evening, Seamus. Hope that you are well. I asked Seamus the same question about what being an area director means to him, and he said it means being the connecting point between clubs and the district, which I love as well. Seamus, can you tell the group and share just a memorable experience or accomplishment that you had from your time as area director this year?
Thanks so much, Tanisha. And I think it goes to almost a quick, easy tie into the response that you just read out. And being an area director, it really gives you a chance to connect, not just to your club officers, right? That's the given, but it really, per that organizational structure you showed earlier, members are at the top. So one very key, memorable experience that I had was actually very recent in a club charter ceremony. So I was fortunate. I know there's a couple on the call here. Yolanda, Marcia were there, but we went through a club charter ceremony, which was really cool to see in that we got to induct not just its officers, but all of its members too, and really just coach from bottom up. What does Toastmasters mean, right? What is the club? How does the club connect to the broader network that is this massive global international, amazing organization that empowers all of us. And you know why you're all here today. So just seeing that come to fruition, because sometimes you can get lost in it. You're going to meetings all the time. As an area director, you're going to deck meetings and there's so many valuable things, but seeing it almost like a kid on Christmas, right? Opening up that present, seeing it for the first time. It was like a brand new experience for this whole new team. It was a corporate club and it was such a memorable experience for me as an area director.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Seamus. And last but certainly not least, we're going to go over to Sakti Narapan. She is our, Area H81 Director. Hello, Sakti. So when I asked her what being an area director meant to her, she said being an area director meant gaining experience of how to become a great leader, more responsible, and a great listener. Love that, Sakti. So Sakti, can you tell the group here what characteristics or skills and or best practices an area director must have in order to become successful in the role?
Hey, thank you to Tanisha for the question. Yeah, as the area director, the best characteristics I learned for this all year was fantastic and it's fun. I am successfully completed for the area director. I can believe it. With everybody supported, I gained lot of management skill and very strategic thinking and time management and visiting so many different culture clubs, knowing about everybody. And also not only that, I will improve my level, learning my pathway level. Also keep a touch with the emails with the club members and everything. It's a great opportunity to help everywhere to, the best. I don't know what to, I'm so excited. So there is no words are coming up for me, but so many roles I took it. I can't believe it. The contests are the best. The area director is the fun part. I love it. And I'm like really saying it's the best part. Yeah.
I love that. You see, everyone, she's so excited being an area director, right? We need that enthusiasm. I love it, Sakti. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go back over to Siobhan. So we talked about a lot of different responsibilities as far as being an area director. So what support and resources do you have available to you to help you along your area director journey?
Oh my gosh, it's really interesting because a lot of times when we have resources, they are not user friendly. And so having access to Toastmasters International on the website has been so helpful. There's a guide for everything. And then the leadership team that we have is so phenomenal in hosting training sessions and info sessions to give us insight and help us walk us through all of the responsibilities and things that we have. I probably had about 4 different training sessions for the contest, and we even did a mock contest, and that was also helpful. I mean, I walked away from that experience really feeling like I had a handle on what needed to happen. And I had given a couple club contests before, but of course, knowing that this one was going to be a lot bigger, have more people involved, I wanted to make sure that all my I's were dotted and my T's were crossed. And so having that experience and that support of everyone around the team was really, really instrumental. And then you also heard Elaine say, I was able to lean into my small division and team of folks. So yes, we were short a couple folks, but we made it work. I mean, if I needed something, Elaine jumped in, Simeon jumped in. It was incredible. And then at the end, when it was time to ask for support, everybody is always willing to support you. Chad actually gave me like a template that he used before, and it was like a super guide. I mean, everything you need will be basically handed over to you. All you have to do is be engaged, want to do good, want to look good, and you will feel good about the results that you can drive as part of Toastmasters, especially in District 44. So I would encourage you to definitely give it a try. I think you won't be disappointed. And at the end, you'll be like, all right, I did that.
I love it. Thank you so much, Siobhan. We're going to go back over to Seamus. So Seamus, how can area directors effectively motivate and inspire club leaders and members to achieve their goals?
Thanks so much, Tanisha. Another good question. And I took a little bit of a different tack at answering this one, because the most straightforward one is just calling upon all your club officers. But recently, and there's also some others on the call that have heard me pitch this one too, and this is the moments of truth exercise. As an area director, I think this might be the most useful tool you have, and it's hidden and not everyone uses it, but it's a real candid forum that you can bring to an entire club. It's where club members have the ability to share real-time feedback, both things that are going well and opportunities back to their club officers. And that I've seen has been the biggest motivator. Yes, me giving them a call and sending them the regular emails helps for sure, but hearing it from their own members as to the feeling that, you know, the president or the VPM evokes in new members in the first month of a new member joining, and having that member themselves really emphasize that directly to the club as a whole is just, it's so invaluable. So I think that is a recommendation for any area director, current or incoming, that I would absolutely recommend.
That's such great stuff. Thank you so much, Seamus. So we are winding down on time for our panel discussion. So I'm going to ask one final closing questions, and I'm going to ask all of the panelists to answer this. So we'll start with Sakti and go back up from the top down. But what advice would you give someone that's considering taking on the area director role? Again, we're going to start with Sakti. Sakti, what advice would you give someone that's considering taking on the area director role?
That is the best role and fun role. You can meet so many of the members and also improving your leadership, and you can see so many changes inside of you. You are like ourselves, we improved a lot. And other than that, each club have uniqueness, and everything is like a great opportunity to learn. Like as an area director, you have a lot of opportunity, but so many members, and I'm sorry, Tanisha.
That's okay. It's that excitement again. I understand. You want to give the best advice because of
Yeah,
the
so
amazing time.
yeah,
I love
area
it.
director will give you a boost up, and it's energy, and you'll be happy, and it's fun. So I did it, so everybody can do it. It's very fun. Thanks.
I love that. I think that's a great point. Saying, hey, look, I've done it. I've climbed the mountain. And I know that you all can do the same thing too. So I love that advice. Thank you,
Mhm.
Sakti.
Yeah.
Siobhan, same question to you. So if you had to give one piece of advice to someone that's considering becoming an area director, what would it be?
My one piece of advice would be determined to succeed. As long as you put in the effort, you will do it. And don't be afraid. There's nothing, absolutely nothing standing between you and success other than fear or doubt. So erase it, sign up. I'm going to be AD and I'm going to be successful, and do it.
I love that. That's a mantra. I'm going to write that down for all my roles that are coming up, right? So writing it down, making it plain, and speaking it into existence. Thank you so much, Siobhan. Elaine, back over to you. So what piece of advice would you give someone that's considering being an area director? And we need you to unmute so we can hear all of that amazing advice that you are providing.
So sorry, it's that button. What I was trying to spit out was to say that so often we tend to limit our own potential. Because we're afraid to step out and take that first step to learn, to grow, because we don't know. Well, guess what? We never always know when we make a decision. So my comment or my advice is to embrace the role. Say yes, then learn as you go. That's what Toastmaster is all about. Back to you, Tanisha.
I love that. Learn and grow. Absolutely. That is what we are all here for. All right, rounding us out with all of the panelists' answers. Seamus, going back and finally to you, what piece of advice would you provide to someone that is considering taking on an area director role?
Thanks so much, Tanisha. I think really the impact that you can really have is up to you. And I think a lot of that is not necessarily your time commitment, right? Because everyone's worried about, oh, is this going to take up too much time? It really doesn't revolve and center around your time commitment. Rather, it really matters in your presence and how you use it when you show up. So if you have clubs that meet in person, you don't have to go every week. But when you do that visit, try and make that effort to go in person, and it's just, you get so much more out of it. So that is my advice.
Ooh, I love that. That face-to-face connection. Nothing beats that. I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our panelists for all of your amazing answers as well as your insight. We're going to now move into our Q&A portion of the meeting. That's where our audience has the ability to ask any burning question that is on their mind to our panelists. Again, we would love for you to leverage the raise your hand feature that will alert me and let me know that you are looking to ask a question, or you can drop your answer inside of the chat. So again, leveraging the raise your hand feature or dropping your question inside of the chat for us to ask the panelists. Okay, I see a hand up. Kia, you can come off of mute and ask your question to the panelists.
Surprise, right? Hi, folks. I'm Kia Morningflower. I'm a member of Speakers Roundtable, and I'm in Division F. My question is for the panelists or anyone who's currently has served as an AD in the past, what did you find more challenging, being an officer or an AD?
Ooh, great question. So what did you find more challenging, being a club officer or being an area director? So I'm going to throw that to the panelists first. Seamus, I see your hand up. Go ahead with your response.
Yeah, this one's funny. And my answer probably is the one you're looking for. It kind of depends. I do think that there was just I'd say similar time commitment in many regards. contest season, as I think Elaine alluded to, can kind of become a bear on certain weeks, depending on which ones you get called into. But I do think there's an element too of being able to delegate and step back that alleviates some of the pressure that you had as a club leader, right? So like I was a club president prior, and I felt as though being a club president, I had to be in my meeting every Saturday. And not having to fill a specific role, but just be there. Whereas as AD, you can kind of take that step back and have a little bit more freedom and latitude as to how you use that time.
Love that. Great answer, Seamus. Any of our other panelists want to answer that question for Kia? Elaine, I see your hand.
I would have to agree with Seamus on that, except I don't think president was the hardest role I've ever filled. Actually, this year, another go round for me of playing secretary. I think I worked harder as a secretary this year in my club than I work at my full-time job. So it's a toss-up. Everything is dependent on how you approach it and how you manage your time.
I think that's a great call out. Preparation is always key. So looking at the planning and preparation that you do and moving forward, we know things will go wrong as they always will, but having that plan and being prepared, it can help you with your time management. Thank you so much for the question, Kia. What other questions do we have, audience, surrounding the area director role? Hey, Dr. Jennifer Eichelberger, I see your hand up. Please come off mute and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Division D, Interstate North. My question, currently, I'm the VPE and VPPR. Would you suggest probably giving up one of those roles if, I step into the role of AD?
I'm going to toss that over to Siobhan first. So Siobhan,
Okay.
you want to answer that first?
Sure. So you said your VP PR, and what was the second one?
And VPE?
That's education. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Well, I actually am currently VP PR and area director, and those two seem to coincide very well together, in my opinion. So I think it's okay to have those roles, but if you're really dedicated to the education role and making sure that everyone is pursuing their goals and meeting the goals so that you can redistinguish club, I would say I would probably offload that responsibility to give somebody else the opportunity to be focused on that, just because I've had to pull back in the second term or part of the term from my club activities just to kind of have some sort of balance. Otherwise I would be full-time Toastmasters and I have to pay the bills. So that's one of the things that I would say is that you could probably do VP of PR and AD together, but not likely to succeed as well with VP of education as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other panelists want to answer that one or provide any additional insight? Elaine, I see your hand.
I'm happy to jump in on that. VPE, I think it's one role I've never held, but if you are working on your succession plan and have someone help you with that role, hold the ownership, your mentoring program, get the mentees on board with getting your folks, scheduled up for their speeches and their roles, then yeah, you can probably do both. But just be very cognizant of the time commitment when you're having to make those decisions, because VPE can really, depending on your club, can be a tough role. Fun role, but tough role.
Thank you so much, Elaine. I did see a question come through in the chat that I want to bring to the panel's attention. So Monique Mitchell said that she was just elected club president today. We can clap for that. Congratulations, Monique Mitchell. Excited for you. So she will be looking at an area director role potentially the following year after next year. So she wants to know what you would recommend for her to prepare for that role since it's a little ways out. So any thoughts from the panel? I'm gonna go to Sakti. Sakti, do you have any advice that you would give for Monique to begin preparing for her role as area director?
Yeah, sure. Just present yourself with smile. That's it. You will do it. So, yeah. You don't need to worry what is there, what you need to know, nothing. Just basic few things you need to follow. Like you will get some clubs, that's all. And you have to keep in touch with the email and make sure to visit 4 times per year. And other than that, whenever reach out the VP for the upcoming meetings update here and there. Try to meet them in person or Zoom if you can. And you can recognize them and award them. And that's all, right? Make them, they are doing speakers, encourage them. And if they need help, encourage them to do the open house or something. And other than that, nothing. Like just go. I just started with plain paper, and all the Toastmaster, like they said, yeah, you can do it. And I just walk. Once you put your step front, and the path will immediately show to you. So it is not that hard. It's fun and enjoyable.
Thank you, Sakti, for that
Back to you,
insight.
Tanisha.
Any other panelists want to provide insight on what Monique could be doing currently?
Sure, I would.
Go ahead, Siobhan.
I actually, and I wanted to also acknowledge Barbara's and Yolanda's suggestion of attending area council meetings. I would also add that presidents is actually a good preparation for the area director role. I was president immediately before I took on the AD role, and everything that I learned in that role was very instrumental and helpful with the transition of moving over to AD. So I think you're going in the right direction, especially since you're going for your DTM.
I love that. I think that's spot on because you learn a lot about leadership in that president's role that translates really, really well over to the area director role. See, Dr. George Monk, I see your hand up. Did you want to provide a comment or did you have a question?
Yes. What I did when I became area director, I just read up on their duties and responsibilities. It made me feel more comfortable. So if you're looking at going into it for the next year, that's what I would recommend. Feel comfortable by going out there and reading the resources that was talked about. And then you know basically what you have to do. And then it's all about building relationships with the people that you're going to be working with.
I love that. There are a myriad of resources that you can go read up on the World Headquarters website. They do a great job of putting together handbooks that you can read, not only about the role that you're in, but the upcoming roles as well that can help prepare you for the future. What other questions do we have from the audience? I can see some of those minds turning, so I know you have some questions in there. Awesome. Edward, I see your hand is raised. Please come off of mute and ask your question.
Yeah, I'm curious for the area directors, especially those new to the role this year, what prompted you to seek out the role of area director?
I like that question. That is a great question. Which panelist wants to take that first? Seamus, I saw your hand go up first. I'll go to you.
Thanks, Tanisha. Edward, I mean, I think it's somewhat self-explanatory in a way, but in going from a leadership role within a club, it was, in my mind, the logical next step. For me, I was club president. I got to see the inner workings of how every facet of a club ran and got to lead, a number of components within it. And then the area director basically gave me a chance to further step out of that comfort zone by taking over, in essence, 4 clubs. And it was challenging and a huge learning ground and a whole different series of things that I'm sure you'll come to find as you continue listening to these amazing panelists throughout the call. But that's really what it was. It was an amazing learning opportunity, a way to get further connected into this organization that I felt like had already given me so much, and I figured, why not give a little bit more back?
Any of our other panelists want to respond to that? Actually, may look into the audience as well, because I know a few audience members have also been area directors. So I may look to you as well. But any panelists, other panelists want to respond? What made you decide to become an area director?
Can I answer, Tanisha?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Yusuf.
Sure. And so what made me want to become area director was stepping outside of the club. I always say Toastmasters is like a painting, and if you're in one club, it's like looking at that painting through a straw. You can only see a little bit of it, but once you become an area director or involved in executive committees, get a broader, a bigger picture of what Toastmasters is. And I had heard that there was more to Toastmasters than just the club. I had been, VPE and club president a couple of times, so I wanted to see what was outside of the club. And when you become area director, it kind of opens your eyes to a bigger world, and you get to meet more people, and it's just an amazing journey. And I would recommend it to anyone.
I think that is the best visual I have ever had about the area director role. So thank you so much for that, Yusuf, because I think you're absolutely right. I can remember that transition from being a club officer to the area director, and I felt exactly that way, especially visiting other clubs. I got so many good ideas to take back to my own club from visiting other clubs. I'm like, wait a minute. You guys do a backwards meeting? Wait a minute, you do table topics before you do your prepared. So there were so many different things that I learned and I took back that worked really, really well in my club. So that's another opportunity for you to come with fresh and innovative ideas that you see in other clubs and bring those back to your club. I love
If I
that.
may answer,
Absolutely.
well, Edward, it's both, for me, it was both personal and professional. Professionally, giving back to others, giving back to those who come after me, basically. And also for personally, I wanted to do it to get be exposed so I can go for my DTM, for an example, to learn more. But it was both personal and professional.
I love that insight, tying the two together. So it doesn't have to just be one or the other. You can get both from being a part of the area director role. Elaine, I see your hand raised.
For me, it was a conscious decision because this was my second time as an area director. I was an area director in the just before the COVID years. And I decided to do it again because I didn't feel like I had done enough. I had my DTM, but I didn't feel like I learned enough. I didn't have some of the opportunities that my colleagues had where they had a session like this to find out what it was all about. Was kind of thrown into the deep end of the pool and had to figure it out as I went. So I came back to do it again with eyes wide open. And I can honestly tell you, it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience the second time round. Tanisha?
I love that. Same here. I did it twice as well. So nice. I had to do it twice. I'm with you, Elaine. I was an area director twice as well. And I see our CGD, Yolanda JDTM, said the same. She did it twice as well. So we have time for one more question before we move on to the next segment of the event. Do we have another question to pose to our panel? We'll double check the chat just to make sure we answered all the questions in there. It is so quiet. You know what happens when it's quiet? Toastmasters start asking you questions. I'm going to ask a question to the audience as well. So what's stopping you from being an area director? Is there anything that you're afraid of or nervous about? What's keeping you from being an area director? And those that have done it before, you can answer what may have frightened you at first as well.
I'll answer. I thought that it was going to really be time consuming and I wasn't going to be able to manage it all. And so I was very skeptical. But then I decided that I really wanted to go ahead and fulfill that last obligation to become a DTM. And so I just sucked it up and I said, I'm just going to have to be effective with my time management skills and get her done.
I like it. I like a get her done attitude. That's awesome. I will say I was the same way. It felt so big to me just having been a person that went to my club and came home, went to my club again and came back home. It felt so brand new and that was nerve-wracking for me. But I will say when I got into the role, I was mad at myself for waiting so long to get into the role because of all the things I learned from a personal and professional level. I really attribute the success that I've had in my corporate job to what I've learned in Toastmasters. And a lot of those skills came from what I learned as an area director, being honest in that first dip into district leadership. Well, I want to take some time to thank all of our panelists for all of your insight. You all were amazing and fantastic. Thank you to our audience as well for coming up with such thought-provoking questions. We're going to move forward into our next segment of the event, which is actually putting you all in breakout rooms. So you'll be able to go into breakout rooms with the incoming division directors, our 2024-2025 directors. Some of our other leaders will be sprinkled into those rooms. You'll get to have some more in-depth personal conversations about the area director role. So we will actually be doubling up divisions. So we'll have 3 different rooms. So divisions A and B will be together. Divisions C and D will be together. And then divisions E and F will be together. Awesome. So I am opening up the rooms now. Well, it looks like you all were having some fantastic conversations because you had to get pulled back, I feel like, per usual. We are on our breakout rooms. So I want to hear a little bit about what you all talked about inside of your breakout sessions. So we're going to do what we call impactful moments. And I would love to hear what you heard that was interesting or surprising or what value you got out of the breakout rooms. And that could be anybody that was in any of the rooms. So I will sit there and open it.
Into the last second. I ended right at the pullout, and I'm going to nominate Vicki Olsen. Vicki, can you come off of mute and give an impactful moment, something you learned?
What I learned from the meeting, there's a lot of high energy people around here, which is what we need. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. A lot of high energy people. It looks like since I was an area director last time was like, in the early 2000s, things have changed a lot, but a lot of it's the same. A lot of the goals and everything to meet distinguished is something that we need to get going. And out of all the things that I did on my way to being a DTM was being area director. It was area governor at the time, but as an area director, and I really had a good time meeting all these new people in the other parts of the clubs. The challenge of creating a new club was difficult, but there was a lot of information that the district and the division was able to give to me, so I was able to get one started.
That's awesome. What a great report out. Thank you so much, Vicki. I appreciate that. And thank you for Yolanda for ending right on time before you all get swept out of the breakout session. That is a sign of a true Toastmaster that can end right on time. I love it. What else did you all hear that was inspiring or impactful to you while you were in the breakout room?
I heard how great you are, Tanisha.
Oh.
And also what we have in store for us to make it a whole lot easier as area and also division directors. And that was refreshing.
I love it. Well, I will pay whoever that is $20 when the call is over. So I'll make sure I give that to you. But no, I love that. That's super sweet. Thank you so very much. I love hearing that. That warms my heart.
There was a lot of people in C and D. I want to know what they were talking about.
Okay. So we've called out another breakout room.
Yeah, Tanisha, I'll pick out a couple of folks to give their impactful moments. How about we go, Jennifer? Do you want to start? I'm going to pick on you just because I know you had a couple of follow-up questions too.
Okay, and all the good things you heard about Tanisha is true. She's wonderful. But anyway, we talked about try to attend the meetings face to face, visit the club at least twice a year, but even more. And one of the main things is to build relationship. That's key. Organization is what we talked about as well. And go and do. And if you run into they have any like conflicts or anything like that, always incorporate moments of truth. But main thing is build those relationships and organization. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
moments
so
of
much,
truth.
Jennifer.
I love it. Go ahead, Seamus. Anybody else that you wanted to call
No,
out?
sorry, Tanisha. I was echoing my thanks to Jennifer for bearing with me, putting her on the spot, and then I'll go second. I'm just gonna pick on Melissa. Melissa, you knew it was coming. I'm picking on you.
Thank you, Seamus. I want to just second everything Jennifer said because she took lots of great notes and summarized it so well. It leaves little for me to share, but really I think the takeaways were just the importance of your own organizational skills and leadership ability and making sure you're collaborating and building those relationships and those teams so that you have that support both inside and outside for yourself and your clubs. And so just making sure that you stay on point and to always just lean in and lean on others around you and mentor up.
Great stuff. I love that.
And
Anyone else have any impactful moments? Yusuf, were you going to add in a comment?
I was just going to say, I think Yolanda just put it in the chat. We talked about time management. And I think that is like the biggest fear of probably most people when it comes to area director is how much time is this going to take out of my schedule? And I would say it's not as big of an issue as you would think. In our meeting, our breakout session, I let people know that I was concerned about that as well. How much time is this going to take? And I learned that I'm better at managing time than I thought I was because I was able to, make all of my visits, my club visits, and make all of the deck meetings. And it's just not as much of an obstacle as it appears to be. I think you have to, believe in yourself and believe that you can manage time well. And I think you can do it. And don't let that stop you from stepping out and becoming an area director.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yusuf. Do we have anyone from E and F to report out? Go ahead, Barb.
Okay, I can represent E for sure. I have been both a division director and an area director at the same time in Division E. And I've made it work. I've made it work because of time management skills that I learned as an area governor when I did it as an area governor, and I did it twice as an area governor. I feel like I get to know people in a different way because I get to see the different cultures and the different clubs when I get to visit. And I get to share with them things that they might not know. And they give to me things that I can take and use in another club meeting. Oh, that was a great table topics idea. I'm going to use it in my next meeting. And by golly, I'd go to one meeting as an area director and I'd come back to my home club and I'd take what I learned in that one area director meeting back to my home club. And vice versa. If I learned something in my home club, I'd take it to the other club, the area directors club. I had such a good time meeting the people in the different clubs. It was wonderful. It just gives you different perspective and it gives you a different feeling. And you realize as you go through all of this that you really are family. We are family. We are here not only for ourselves, because we're all here for ourselves, but we're also here because sharing what we know with other people gives us another dimension to our own lives that you don't even realize you get until you do it. Back to you, Tanisha.
Thank you so much, Barb. I love that. That should be our theme song going into next year. We are family. So we'll make sure we incorporate that into, into our events next year. Well, I want to thank you all so very much for your participation, your interaction, just providing your thoughts. Again, this is all about us. We're all members at heart. Even if we have another role, at the end of the day, we all join Toastmasters to gain something. And I think just serving in district leadership can help you reach some of the goals that you set out to achieve when you join Toastmasters. So to wrap us up, we're actually going to have some game time. I promised you all a game, and I'm going to keep true to that promise. So I'm going to pull that up, and then I'm going to share my screen again for you all. All right, perfect. So we are going to leverage Mentimeter. So I have that QR code on the screen. If you have a smartphone, you can just open up your camera, hover over that QR code, and that will take you right into where you need to be. Or you can open any browser on your computer, on your mobile device, and enter www.menti.com. When you do that, it's going to ask you for a code, and that is where you want to enter that 8-digit code of 8447-9253. So I will give us a minute for everyone to get in that wants to participate. And this will be a Who Knows the Area Director Role quiz. So we've been talking about the area director role all evening long. Who was listening and who knows a little bit about it? Again, you can hover over that QR code with your camera on your mobile device, and that will take you right into the session. Or you can go to www.menti.com and enter code 8447-9253. Elaine, you had a question?
Do we all get to play, Mama?
You all can play. Now we'll say you have a bit of an advantage, area director, but you're welcome to play. So we get about 30 more seconds. Thank you for all the love I'm seeing. I'm seeing all the hearts. I receive it. Thank you so very much. All right, 10 more seconds. All right, here we go. We're going to move forward into the roles. So you're going to see a question pop up about the area director role. You will have 15 seconds to select the correct answer. The fastest correct answers get the most points. That means you want to be correct and fast. So those two things go together in this game. Wrong or no answers give 0 points. That means you get no deduction for answering incorrectly. So guess if you must, it will not hurt you. And then you're going to see top 10 leaderboards throughout the game. So we'll see who's been answering the fastest, who needs to catch who, and who's in the lead. Yolanda said current area directors need to wait 3 seconds. So we need to give a little bit of a boost for the other contestants. I like that. I love it. All right, awesome. So lastly, on this slide, you're going to pick a name for your avatar. So we got 19 players. Your avatar should have popped up on your screen with a box for you to enter a name. That is the name that will show up on the top 10 leaderboard if you are on it. So we want to make sure that is a Toastmasters appropriate name that we see popping up on the screen. So we'll give a couple of seconds for everyone to get their name. And if anyone's not in, I popped that QR code back up there as well for you to get in. If you do not enter a name, the system will provide the generic name for your avatar. So you'll still get a fun, cool name, even if you don't enter one. All right, here we go. What is the primary role of a Toastmasters area director? Is it organizing club social events, managing the district budget, overseeing multiple clubs within an area, or conducting speech contests? My time is up, and everyone got that one right. It is overseeing multiple clubs within an area, but let's see who was quickest on the trigger. So we got Mimi is in first place. Jen Kroc is in second, and we have Mo Frosty that is in third. I'm loving these names. I love it. So those are our top three. Those are the people that you want to catch up to. And I have to shout out Stingalicious because that is just hilarious to me. So shout out to whoever is our B in the game today. I love it. All right, question 2. Which of the following is a responsibility of an area director? Creating educational materials for members, conducting area council meetings, approving club charters, or writing articles for the Toastmaster magazine? Which one of those is a role for the area director? Time is up. And we got 12 people that got that right. The correct answer is conducting area council meetings. That is when you bring key officers from your clubs together to talk about best practices. Let's see what that question did to our leaderboard. Ooh, we got a new top 3. So Jen Kroc is now on top. We got Ambrell that is in second, and then Mo Frosty is still hanging out in third. A shout out to Yo-Yo Gal. I think I have a clue who that is, who was our fastest on that one. All right, here we go. Moving on to question 3 of 10. How often are area directors required to visit each club in their area? Is it once a year, monthly, quarterly, or twice a year? How often are area directors required to visit their clubs? Everyone has voted. Let's see. We got 16 people that got that right. Twice a year is the correct answer. So those are the 2 times you'll submit your area club visit reports. Let's check out that leaderboard. Ooh, Stingalicious is making and buzzing the way up to the top. We got Ambrielle still in first, Stingalicious in second. We got Shammy. Welcome, Shammy, to the top 3 as well. All right, here we go. Moving on to question number 4. I love this part because everybody gets so quiet and they're so focused. Who appoints the area directors in Toastmasters? Is it the district director, club presidents, the international president, or the division director? Who appoints area directors? All right, time is up. Ooh, we got a mixed bag on that one. The correct answer is the district director. The district director is who appoints area directors with the guidance of the division directors, of course. Let's see. Ooh, it looks like it's going to change up our leaderboard just a little bit. And it does. So we got Ambrielle still hanging out at number 1. Yo-Yo Gal is the fastest and is shooting up to number 2. And we got the boss is new to the top 3 as well. So welcome the boss. I love Go ADs. I love whoever that is next as well. So definitely loving these names. All right, here we go. Question 5 of 10. Area directors must submit reports after club visits. These reports are known as what? What is the name of the reports? Got the logo covering up a couple of them on my screen. What is the name of the reports? Time is up. Club visit reports is the correct name for the reports. Well, let's see what that does to our leaderboard. Looks like there might be some changes. And there were. Ambrielle was the fastest and is still at number 1. We got Go 80s at number 2. And the boss is still hanging out at number 3. But I see Lola. Lola's catching up there. Hey, Lola. Welcome to the top 4. All right. Question 6. So we're more than halfway to the end. In what ways do area directors support clubs within their area? collecting membership dues, selecting club officers, managing club finances, or providing training and resources? Which of those is an activity that area directors do? Time is up. All right, the correct answer is providing training and resources. We had 17 people that got that one right. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Okay. A little small switch there. Lola is making the way up the charts. We get Ambrielle still in first. Go area ADs is second, and then Lola is third. We're at 7 out of 10. Here we go. What is one of the key goals for an area director during club visits? Recruiting new members, hosting club meetings, evaluating club performance, or approving club projects? Which one? And I see you, Vicky, putting up the answers. I see you there. Being a wealth of knowledge. Evaluating club performance is correct. Let's check out the leaderboard. Okay, so the top 3 stayed the same, but Jen Kroc is making a move, as well as Yo-Yo Gal. And we had Smiles. Hey, Smiles, who was the fastest? All right, well, we're dwindling down to the last couple of questions. So question 8. Which leadership quality is essential for an effective area director? Financial acumen, organizational skills, creative writing, or public speaking skills? Which one of those 4 is most essential to being an effective area director? Absolutely, you all heard me. Organizational skills is extremely important for the AD role. Did everyone get that one right? Let's see if it changes our leaderboard at all. Just a little bit. Shout out to Mo Frosty for being the fastest on that one. All right, 2 more to go. Question 9. An area director works closely with which other district officers? They work closely with the division directors, club treasurers, the district public relations managers, or immediate past district directors. Who do the area directors work closely with throughout the year? The division director is correct. Let's check out that leaderboard. Ambrielle is holding on, still in first and was the fastest. We got Go ADs at second, and then Lola at third. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the very last question of the game. One key function of the area director at speech contests is to serve as a chief judge, act as a contestant, manage the event logistics, or provide refreshments. What is the key function of an area director? Absolutely, manage the event logistics. So with that, let's see who our winner is for the evening. So it is Ambrielle. Congratulations. All right, who's Ambrielle? Who is our winner for today? Anyone want to claim being the winner today?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
I love it. So, well, thank you for not confirming or denying, Elaine. I appreciate you. What about Lola? Who's Lola?
That was me.
Oh, congratulations, kind of becoming the second. And then lastly, we'll do top 3 Go ADs. Who's Go ADs? We have some shy people on the line. No one wants to say who it is.
That's me.
There we go.
Sorry,
Yeah,
frog
no,
in my throat.
great job, Sherelle. Awesome. Well, thank you all so very much for participating. We always like to have a little bit of fun after we learn a little bit together. So thank you all for indulging me and having a good time playing the game. So we'll just go into some announcements since we are winding down on time. And I'm actually going to open it up to the other leaders that are on the call just to see if they have any announcements. I'm going to go first to our current Club Growth Director and our Program Quality Director-elect, Yolanda J. Any announcements from you?
The only announcement I have, because my role as Club Growth Director is over our membership, and I want you to go back to your clubs with one guest to the next meeting and cultivate that guest into a member. If you would do that, each one reach one, that would be amazing. You'll be helping our district above and beyond whatever you think you could do. So that's all the announcements I have.
Thank you so much. I'm also going to go to our Public Relations Manager and our Division C Director-elect, Pastor Jeff. Any announcements from you?
Well, thank you, Tanisha. I just want to share that, as you can see, I practice what I preach. I'm at a Disabled American Veterans State Conference. And as you can see on my lapel or my collar is my 100-year Toastmaster. And people ask, 100 years what? Are you 100 years old? I said, no, Toastmasters is 100 years old. So it works. Back to you.
What a great segue into getting a conversation started, right? All from just a little pin gets you the ability to open up and break the ice to have a conversation about Toastmasters. I think that's a great best practice, Jeff. Thank you for that. And last but not least, so she gets used to doing this because she will be doing this next year. I'm going to go over to our current Division E Director and our Club Growth Director-elect, Barbara Wallace, DTM, to see if she has any announcements or comments.
I think reach out to your clubs, reach out and get them to bring in the members that they need so that we can finish this year very strong and better than we've ever been before, so that I can continue that tradition moving forward. That's going to be one of my goals, is to make sure that every club knows how valuable they are to us, and that we are a resource for them, and that our area directors and our division directors are committed to their growth and to their success in the coming year. That's it.
Thank you so much, Barb. So lastly, I will just put on the screen the QR code. If you are interested in becoming an area director, you can absolutely reach out to any of the leaders that you've seen and talk to on the line if you're interested in a specific division. I also wanted to make sure you had access to a survey that you can complete if you're interested. I will make sure I drop the link in the chat as well so that you have it that way. But this will enable you to let us know that you're interested in being an area director for next year as well. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat for you all so that you have it. And I will leave this up on the screen as we close out. So I want to say, again, piggybacking off of Barb, is that we are super close, closer than we've been in a few years at becoming a distinguished district this year. We're about 23, 24 active clubs away from completing the paid clubs, and we're about 24 clubs away from distinguished clubs in order to hit our distinguished goal. So let's finish out the year strong. I'm absolutely excited about next year, but I want to make sure we set ourselves up for success next year as well, and that we do our roles all the way completely through the end of the year. And as to Barb's point, we're a family. It's teamwork. We can't do anything without our members, without our area directors, our division directors, and so forth and so on. We serve our members. So let's finish serving them well throughout the rest of this year and look forward towards another amazing year going into 2024 and 2025. I want to thank you all so very much for attending this evening. This time has been fantastic with all of you. I hope that you have a great rest of your evening, and I look forward to seeing some of you stepping up into the area director role and being a part of the team going into 2024, 2025. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.